It's true.
Okay.
It's really on day one, everything changed.
So just walk me through it. So Trump has Obama to thank for his economy,
okay,
but Biden can't thank Trump for anything.
Okay.
What's happening, everybody? Megyn Kelly recently sat down with Bill Maher on his show Real Time with Bill Maher. For the entire interview, Megyn Kelly found herself responding to the same old tired criticisms of Donald Trump. But Megyn Kelly easily swatted each one away like a fly. With that said, let's watch Megyn Kelly make Bill Maher look stupid with, you guessed it, facts, not feelings. Let's go.
I'm not saying you don't have a point. I'm just saying it's hard for people to understand why that, which is not democracy, that's the border issue. And you're right, they it up. That, with like the things he's been saying, and all the people in his administration who said he's a fascist, he wants to be a fascist, he talks like a fascist, his friends are all dictators.
I don't care about that at all. Not at all.
Because?
January 6th was not good.
Wait, why don't you care about that at all?
Because they've been saying that about Trump for years. They've been saying that about Republican candidates for years. It has like a long storied history. If you are at all center or center right, you are used to having your candidate of choice completely demonized, whether it's the F word, the R word, the misogynist word. They tried to tell us Mitt Romney was a raging sexist because of binders full of women. They tried to tell us John McCain was a raging racist, notwithstanding the fact that he had adopted a daughter from Bangladesh. They've been doing this for every Republican. They get to Trump, and we no longer are listening to them. Trump hasn't.
Hey, if you like watching videos like these, like, subscribe, and blah, 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 blah. Let's get back to the video.
Rhetoric, there's no question. But we have 4 years to judge him by, and the country was going pretty well when Trump was in there, unlike the 4 years we've had under these two.
Well, I mean, I could argue with that too. Actually, if Trump had this economy, and I could go through all the stats, the stock market is through the roof, wages are up.
Not as high as it was under Trump.
Well, first of all, Trump inherited somebody else's economy.
That's what Barack Obama would like us to do.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
It's really on day one, everything changed.
So just walk me through it. So Trump has Obama to thank for his economy, but Biden can't thank Trump for anything.
Okay. Let's get off this.
Oh, Bill, you don't know what to do when you're cornered, do you? Bill Maher is another one of these leftists that seems to be aware that the left is out of control and going way too far, but he's gonna hold on super tight to his ideology. That last comment by Megyn Kelly may be one of like the biggest owns we've seen in a long time. She used his own comments, I mean direct comments, straight out of his mouth against him. And Bill Maher is very lucky, because he has something that most of us don't when we're in a disagreement. He has an audience that will laugh when a little sign goes off and says applause, and he has dumb little jokes that will then prompt that little sign to go off and make his audience applaud. It's like a get out of conversation free card or something. You saw what he said when he got burned. Let's move on to something else. And everyone just started laughing. If that doesn't show you that that's literally like a cue they use to get him out of a sticky situation, what's funny about let's move on to something else? I'm waiting. I don't know. This is a pretty short clip today, so there's not much to comment on, but you know, he's doing the same stuff that like Cenk Uygur and people do. And I'm disappointed because I thought Bill Maher was better than this, but that's silly. I know I'm too naive, I guess. But he said he's friends with dictators. What's the problem with saying positive things about leaders of very dangerous countries? What's wrong with that? I always thought that was called diplomacy. They don't ever want to give him credit that we didn't have any wars during his time in office, but that's probably part of the equation as to why we didn't have wars during that time, because he did get along with these people. But at the same time, they knew that he didn't F around either. And I don't think they would mess with him. And the evidence I base that on is his 4 years in office. which is the same evidence I base my claim that he's not a dictator. He's not going to lock people up. He's not racist, because we've had 4 years of him in office. These are such futile, desperate attempts to try to get their candidate elected. And can you imagine a country with her at the helm? Actually, don't do that. I don't want to ruin your day. Anyway, let's get back to the video. There's just a little bit left.
Because it's not what I really want to get through.
Look, you want to know why I'm going to vote for him,
Yeah.
notwithstanding what you said. And I'll give you a couple good reasons off the top of my head. Number one, what's happened with illegal immigration. I'm voting for him because I don't want any more Laken Rileys. I don't want any more Jocelyn Nungaros, the 12-year-old girl who was killed in Houston by 2 Venezuelan illegal immigrants who took her to a bridge and murdered her and threw her over the bridge.
And Americans have ever done that?
That's not the point. We have to take the
I know,
Americans.
but-
We don't have to take it from Venezuelan illegals.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree we took in too many immigrants. But the idea that you take in immigrants, I would assume you concede we should do that to a degree. We should take in people from other countries. We take in like 1 million legal every year.
Legal is one
Anytime
thing.
you take in 1 million people, some of them are going to commit crimes,
Bill,
like of any group.
Do you have any idea how many illegals we let in under Biden-Harris?
Okay, so that's
You know?
that's your issue?
That's one of them. 10.4 million at least. That's what
Right.
Customs and Border Patrol says. It's probably more.
But that's-
That doesn't count the gotaways. 10.4. You know how many it was under Trump? 2.3.
But that's more important than democracy and like.
That is democracy. What is America
No,
if
it's
we
not.
let in another 20 million illegals who come into your community, who overrun your town, who endanger you, who take up social service money so that your community center closes, so that you can't pay for basic services for your
We're
townspeople?
talking about size of things, like Arnold Palmer.
I have no doubt that Bill Maher is a smart guy, but when you make arguments as weak as the one we just saw, I mean, I've watched a lot of his stuff, and that may be the weakest. To say when Megyn Kelly mentions people being murdered because of illegal immigrants coming into the country, Americans don't do that, how do you think that makes the victims' families feel? It's a slap in their face, because there's something that could have been done. Yes, Bill, if you let 1 million people into the country, some people will do some bad things. But you know what? It's a lot less likely if they're vetted properly at the border and come in legally. It is such a tone-deaf response purely to advocate for the candidate he wants elected. I never want to be like the lefties we see when we make fun of them, like getting all outraged about things. But I really can't laugh about people being murdered in this country and then blowing it off like it's not a big deal. And then in the next sentence or the previous sentence, saying your big concern is that Donald Trump is going to be a dictator or a fascist. You've lost grip with reality. That's so stupid. And it's just such a slap in the face to those families. That's it for today's video. You know, I wish I could end it on a goofy or fun or laughable note, but wasn't a real long clip, and I don't really feel like joking around right now. So if you do like watching idiots like Bill Maher get owned by smart people like Megyn Kelly, and click on one of the 2 videos that just popped up on your screen. Otherwise, I really appreciate you being here today. The end.